Hello, this is Don Carter. I'm here today to talk about the autonomic nervous system, which is an important part of the central nervous system. The autonomic nervous system has two branches, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is the part of the autonomic nervous system that's activated when we trigger the fight or flight survival response. The parasympathetic nervous system is active when the threat or the stressor has passed so that we can return back to a normal baseline of relaxation. It's also known as the relaxation response. So the autonomic nervous system is a major player in anxiety and stress and many of the stress-related conditions that we face today. Before we get into the window of tolerance and the autonomic ladder, I'd first like to discuss some basics about stress and stress management. Stress is not usually the problem. The problem is typically an inadequate parasympathetic relaxation response. When we are experiencing good stress, also known as eustress, the challenge or threat triggers the sympathetic nervous system. We have that basic fight or flight stress response. Afterward, the threat passes and we are supposed to return to that normal baseline of relaxation. That is that healthy parasympathetic reset to our nervous system. Bad stress or distress is when we have that inadequate relaxation response. We rise to a challenge, but afterward we have an inadequate relaxation response. Then another stressor comes along and another inadequate relaxation response, then another stressor, another inadequate response. You see the staircase effect. This is the profile of chronic stress. The lack of an adequate relaxation response leads to the staircase effect with our level of stress going higher and higher. So with all that in mind, I designed these therapy cards for my clients to provide visual representations of Dan Siegel's window of tolerance and Stephen Porges' autonomic ladder. With these tools, I can help my clients understand the consequences of chronic stress, the importance of stress management, and inspire them to become expert stress managers. There are many ways that we can recondition the nervous system back to that healthy parasympathetic relaxation reset. I suspect this is why mindfulness, meditation, and other relaxation techniques are spreading so far and wide these days. It all starts with an elementary understanding of the care and feeding of the autonomic nervous system. So you see here the window of tolerance. There's a red zone, a blue zone, two yellow zones, and a green zone. The green zone represents a healthy parasympathetic reset. The red zone represents that staircase chronic stress profile. The blue zone represents the crash and burn that comes after an extended period of chronic stress when the nervous system just can't take it anymore and needs to shut down. The red zone is a consequence of too much arousal or hyperarousal. This comes from that staircase effect. When we're constantly triggered into the red zone, our sympathetic nervous system is activated. We become overwhelmed and can't think clearly, or our thinking might become rigid or chaotic. We will experience that anxiety and panic of flight reactivity, or the anger and criticalness of fight reactivity. Of critical importance is the fact that any time we are outside our window of tolerance, new learning cannot take place. This is because neurogenesis, or brain growth, does not occur when the sympathetic stress response is activated. Following an extended period of that chronic stress staircase effect in the red zone, we eventually collapse into a hypoaroused state, referred to here as the blue zone. Hypoarousal is too little arousal. In this state, we experience poor contact with others because we isolate and withdraw. We might experience a numbing of emotion, limited awareness of physical sensation, or lose touch with our bodies altogether. We could experience a severe shutdown and become unable to mobilize any energy at all. Stephen Porges of polyvagal theory would call this the dorsal vagal response. The irony is that this is actually a parasympathetic state, but it's not the healthy kind because there's no reset to our nervous system, no reclaiming of our energy level. Again, since the blue zone is outside our parasympathetic window of tolerance, we will experience difficulty learning. In fact, no new learning can take place. Everything's pretty much powered down in this state because we remain in survival mode. We can experience growth mode when we return to the green zone of optimal arousal. That adequate relaxation response, known as a parasympathetic reset to our nervous system, we can experience the full range of human emotion. We can have a state of mind that is calm, alert, flexible, and adaptable. We're able and willing to connect with others. And most importantly, in this green zone, new learning can take place because we're in growth mode now. Notice that we can experience the full range of human emotions in the green zone. This means that even in situations where we have experienced a loss, we can grieve, feel sad, or remain connected to others. In fact, we're able to give and receive love and support to each other through difficult times. Also, take note here of the yellow zone on either side of the green zone. It's here in the yellow zone that we need to be able to take action in order to avoid getting sucked into the red zone or the blue zone. In the yellow zones, we look for mild symptoms of the red zone or mild symptoms of the blue zone. We want to take action quickly to prevent being pulled into either one of those chronic sympathetic stress states. The Autonomic Ladder is a great tool for helping us learn how to do that. Similar to the window of tolerance, the Autonomic Ladder has a green pathway, a red pathway, and a blue pathway. They represent the same autonomic states as the window of tolerance. The difference is that the green zone is at the top of the ladder. When we're in the green zone, we are engaged with others, fun-loving, connected, friendly, calm, curious, playful, even able to support and love one another during those difficult times. Only good stress is allowed in the green zone. We want a little bit of a challenge when we go to work. We want to be able to rise to that challenge, overcome the challenge, and then have that healthy parasympathetic reset. The red zone puts us on that pathway to chronic stress, which is a staircase effect. We feel upset, mad, mean, irritable, fight mode essentially. We may also feel that flight reactivity of anxiety and panic, becoming overwhelmed, having difficulty thinking clearly. And as we've already seen in the window of tolerance, too much time in the red zone of chronic stress will eventually lead us down to the blue pathway, to the bottom of the ladder. Here we begin hiding or withdrawing, shutting down. We may experience low energy or no energy, feelings of sadness, numbness, maybe even feel like crying all the time. Notice on this visual of the Autonomic Ladder that there's a space between the green pathway and the red pathway. The best way to use the tool is to write down in 1 or 2 words the things that help you get into the green zone and the things that help you stay there. In the space between the red and the blue pathways, we want to write down in 1 or 2 words the primary triggers that cause us to slip down on the Autonomic Ladder. With the Autonomic Ladder and the window of tolerance, we will never be without a reference card to help when we find ourselves in the yellow zone. Your primary job will be to find the things that work for you, whether it's mindfulness, meditation, reading a good book, walking, exercising, taking a bubble bath, going on a hike in a state park, swimming, self-hypnosis, brainwave entrainment, watching a good movie or comedy, riding a horse, just to name a few things. Find what works for you and make a note on the card so you'll always have that reference. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful.